The dust tickles my nose as I push aside another cardboard box in my parents' storage room. Mom's voice echoes from downstairs, reminding me to hurry up and find those old Christmas decorations. But something else catches my eye: an intricately carved wooden box tucked behind a stack of weathered moving boxes. My fingers trace the delicate engravings, following the swooping curves of carved flowers. The lid creaks as I open it, and my heart skips with anticipation. But instead of the expected trinkets and treasures, I find myself staring at meticulously organized photo albums and scrapbooks. The first album falls open to a page dominated by Sophia's high school graduation. Her perfect smile beams up at me as she clutches her valedictorian medal. The next page showcases Elena's piano recital, her fingers poised over ivory keys. I flip through more pages, my movements growing more frantic. Sophia's college acceptance, Elena's art competitions, their birthdays, their achievements, their celebrations. Not a single photo of me. My hands begin to shake as I grab another album, then another. Each one tells the same story, a carefully curated family history where I simply don't exist. The room suddenly feels too small, the air too thick. Last weekend's family gathering flashes through my mind. I'm back in the living room, chasing after Leo and Mia as they race between the furniture. "Annie, keep those children quiet." Mom's sharp voice cuts through the chaos. Meanwhile, Sophia holds court by the fireplace, describing her latest promotion while Elena nods along, both of them pristine and poised. "Always the babysitter, never the star," Sophia had whispered when I passed her later, her tone dripping with false sympathy. But really, what else would you be good for? Another memory surfaces: Elena's 16th birthday party last spring. I'd spent hours helping Mom prepare, hanging streamers and arranging flowers. But when the guests arrived, Mom had strategically positioned the family photos on display. I watched her remove my dance competition certificate from the wall, replacing it with Elena's latest piano award. "We want to keep the focus on the birthday girl," she'd said, not meeting my eyes. The pattern stretches back years. At every family gathering, every holiday, every celebration, the same careful orchestration played out. My sister's wedding photos prominently displayed, while my art school acceptance letter gathered dust in a drawer. The family newsletter Mom sent out each Christmas, filled with updates about Sophia's career and Elena's performances, my own achievements reduced to a brief mention of helping around the house. My fingers brush against something at the bottom of the box, a stack of certificates and newspaper clippings. Each one chronicles another triumph. Sophia's academic awards, Elena's artistic achievements. Mom's neat handwriting labels every item, dates each milestone. I remember the day I won first place in the county art show. Mom didn't even come. "Someone needs to watch the little ones," she'd said, not meeting my eyes. I'd stood alone on that stage, clutching my ribbon, searching the crowd for a familiar face. A floorboard creaks behind me, and I whirl around to find Grandma Rose in the doorway. Her eyes move from my face to the scattered albums, and something shifts in her expression. She doesn't speak, but her gaze holds mine with an intensity that makes my throat tight. There's recognition there, and something elsey spark of defiance that mirrors the fire building in my chest. The box sits between us like an accusation. All these years I've tried to be the good daughter, the helpful sister, the reliable one. I've swallowed my words, buried my dreams, played my assigned role. But sitting here surrounded by the physical proof of my erasure, something inside me finally snaps. I stand up slowly, my legs unsteady. Through the dusty window, rain begins to speckle the glass, distorting the world outside. The house feels different now, like a museum dedicated to my own invisibility. Every family photo on the walls, every carefully arranged shelf, they're all part of the same story. A story where I'm nothing more than a footnote, a shadow in the background. My reflection catches in the window, barely visible among the raindrops. For the first time, I really look at myself. The paint-stained fingers, the uncertain smile, the spark of rebellion in my eyes that no one ever bothered to notice. I won't do this anymore. I whisper to my reflection, and the words feel like a match struck in the dark. The truth can't be ignored now. It sits in this box, in these albums, in every carefully curated memory that wrote me out of my own family's history. They'll regret making me invisible, because I'm done playing my part in their perfect family portrait. My hands shake as I lift the delicate envelope from the wooden box, its edges worn and yellowed with time. More documents spill out beneath it: financial records, letters, notes in Mom's precise handwriting. Each one feels like a knife twisting deeper into my chest. Asterisk the 15th of October. Removed A's art competition photo from living room display. Replaced with S's business award. Maintaining focus on real achievements. Asterisk the 3rd of December. Family newsletter draft. Lead with S's promotion. Include E's recital. A. Helping with holiday preparations. Keeping busy. Asterisk the 20th of January. Budget adjustment. Reallocate A's college fund to S's MBA program. More strategic investment. Asterisk. The words blur as tears threaten to spill. I blink them back, refusing to let them fall. Each page reveals another calculated move, another deliberate erasure. Momno Isabel documented everything with clinical precision, like a scientist recording a long-term experiment. Only I was never the scientist. I was the specimen. My throat tightens as I uncover more recent entries. Last month's family barbecue, where Sophia cornered me by the drinks table. Asterisk. Still playing with your little paintings, Annie? How? Quaint. Asterisk the notes show it wasn't just usual cruelty. She'd practiced that line, chosen that moment, coordinated with Mom to ensure maximum impact while the rest of the family celebrated her latest promotion. Another folder catches my eye, emails printed and meticulously filed. My stomach churns as I recognize Sophia's work address at the top. Their contents lay bare a deeper betrayal than I'd imagined. Mom, Annie's applying for the Hargrove Scholarship. Contacted admissions, reminded them about the incident with Dad's foundation. They'll ensure the application gets lost. S. Art Institute interview, scheduled my client meeting for the same day. Annie won't have a ride. She can't afford the bus fare since we redirected her savings. Perfect timing. S. FYI, mentioned Annie's emotional instability to Aunt Carol. Should help discredit any complaints about missing family funds. S. Each printed email reveals my sister as more than just Mom's puppet. She's an architect of my erasure. The family gathering where she mocked my hobby in front of potential clients. The scholarship applications that mysteriously vanished. The whispered concerns about my mental health whenever I tried to speak up. All carefully planned, documented, executed. A creak in the floorboard sends my heart racing. I look up to find Grandma Rose in the doorway, her eyes sharp despite her gentle demeanor. She moves into the room with purpose, settling into the old armchair like she's been waiting for this moment. Your mother kept everything, she says quietly. Every manipulation, every calculated slight. She's always been thorough, Isabel has. You knew? The words come out raw, accusatory. Grandma Rose's fingers trace the edge of a nearby photo album. She learned it from watching your grandfather, the way he controlled everything, everyone. When he passed, she stepped right into his shoes. She meets my gaze, but she perfected it, made it an art form. The air feels thick with dust and secrets as she describes the subtle signals, the choreographed conversations at every family gathering. How Isabel would position herself just so, ensure the right people heard the right whispers. How Sophia learned to echo her mother's techniques, becoming the perfect protege in the art of subtle destruction. The Christmas party last year, I whisper, a memory surfacing, when my art school acceptance letter was conveniently misplaced before the family photos. Grandma Rose's smile is sad. Nothing in this house is ever convenient, dear, or accidental. I turn back to the box, something catching my eye. A cream envelope, hidden beneath the others, my name written in Grandma Rose's elegant script. Inside, I find bank statements, contact information for art galleries, letters of recommendation written years ago and carefully preserved. I couldn't stop her, Grandma Rose says softly, but I could prepare for the day you'd see it all clearly. There are people waiting to help you, Annie. People who see your talent, who've been watching and waiting. My fingers brush against another papera torn diary page, stuffed hastily at the bottom of the box. The handwriting is unfamiliar, the signature faded, but a few phrases jump out. Asterisk, the truth about the inheritance. Asterisk and asterisk. Isabel's plan for the foundation. Asterisk. A chill runs down my spine as I read further. This goes beyond mere emotional manipulation. There's something darker here. Something that could shatter the careful facade Mom's built around our family name. Be careful with that, Grandma Rose warns, her voice dropping. If Isabel realizes you know about the diary, she leaves the threat unspoken, but I understand. The secret college fund, the network of supporters she's built for Mate, could all disappear with one word from Mom. I stare at the diary page, its edges crumbling slightly under my touch. One question burns in my mind, setting my heart racing. What other secrets are hidden in these walls? And how far will Mom go to keep them buried? The late afternoon sun slants through the dusty window, casting long shadows across the scattered evidence of my family's betrayal. In the distance, I hear Mom's voice calling up the stairs, cheerful and controlled as ever. But now I hear the steel beneath the sugar, the calculation behind every syllable. I carefully return everything to the box, except for the diary page, which I slip into my pocket. Its weight feels like a live coal against my leg, burning with possibility and danger. Grandma Rose watches me with knowing eyes. We both understand. The game has changed. And this time, I'm done playing by their rules. Mother's heels click against the marble floor as she sweeps through the dining room, her tailored blazer a shield of perfect composure. She pauses behind Sophia's chair, resting manicured fingers on my sister's shoulder. Have you heard about Sophia's promotion? Senior partner at only 28. The crystal chandelier catches the triumph in Mother's eyes as she surveys our gathered family. Her gaze slides past me like water over glass, settling instead on Elena's latest piano certificate propped on the sideboard. Annie. Mother's voice cuts through the murmur of conversation. The children need supervision in the playroom. I grip my fork tighter, the metal cool against my palm. I thought I might stay for dinner this time. Share some news about The children, Annie. Her tone brooks no argument. Beside her, Sophia's lips curl into a familiar smirk. The rage builds in my chest, a pressure that threatens to crack my ribs. Years of dismissal and careful orchestration flash through my Mendevory achievement buried, every dream redirected toward serving others' glory. The fork trembles in my grip. Number. The word drops like a stone into still water. Conversations halt. Mother's perfectly plucked eyebrows arch upward. I said no. I push back my chair and stand, my voice steady despite my thundering heart. I'm not watching the children tonight. I'm not playing the convenient babysitter anymore. Annie, Sophia interjects, her tone dripping false concern. Someone has to watch them. It's what you're good at, after all. The patronizing smile she wears is the same one from 1,000 memories the dance recital she convinced Mother to skip. The art show opening where my paintings were relegated to the back wall. The family photos where I was positioned just out of frame. What I'm good at? A laugh escapes me, sharp and unfamiliar. You wouldn't know what I'm good at. None of you would because you've never bothered to look. Mother's face hardens. That's enough. You're making a scene. A scene? The words taste like freedom. You want to talk about scenes, Mother? Let's talk about Elena's 16th birthday, when you took down my dance certificate to make room for her piano awards. Or last Christmas, when you edited me out of the family newsletter. Or maybe we should discuss the trust fund you've been hiding. Annie? Mother's voice cracks like a whip. That's quite enough. But it isn't enough. Not anymore. I turn to face the table of shocked relatives, my hands steady now. For years, I've watched you orchestrate this perfect family narrative. The brilliant Sophia, the talented Elena, and meth-convenient Shadow who keeps the machinery running. Well, I'm done. I'm done being your backdrop. Sophia stands, her composure slipping. You're being ridiculous. Jealousy doesn't suit you, little sister. Jealousy? I meet her gaze. I'm not jealous, Sophia. I'm awake. And I'm not the only one who sees through this charade, am I, Grandma Rose? Across the table, Grandma Rose's eyes meet mine. A slight nod, barely perceptible, sends strength flooding through my veins. In that moment, I see what I couldn't before I'm not alone in this fight. If you'll excuse me, I say, gathering my purse, I have a meeting with Marcus Lynn about my gallery showing next month. You remember Marcus, don't you, Mother? The curator you told me was wasting his time with my work? Mother's face pales. Sophia's perfect smile cracks at the edges. For the first time in years, I feel the power shift, subtle but undeniable. I walk out of the dining room, their shocked silence following me like a cloak. In the foyer, I catch my reflection in the gilded mirror paint-stained fingers, defiant eyes, shoulders straight with newfound purpose. The trembling girl who used to duck and weave around their expectations is gone. Outside, the evening air carries the scent of jasmine from Grandma Rose's garden. I breathe it in, letting the familiar fragrance steady me. My phone buzzes with a text from Marcus. Gallery space confirmed. Time to show them what you can do. A smile tugs at my lips as I slide into my car. They thought they could keep me small, contained, invisible. But they forgot one crucial detail: shadows have a way of growing teeth in the dark. And mine are ready to bite. I drive to the small studio apartment I've been secretly renting for the past month. The space isn't much, but it's mine every paint-splattered surface, every half-finished canvas leaning against the walls. Here, in this sanctuary of color and light, the weight of the evening's confrontation finally hits me. My hands shake as I collapse onto the worn sofa, memories flooding back. The constant dismissals, the subtle undermining, the careful erasure of my existence each memory burns. But instead of crushing me, they fuel something new, something powerful. I pull out my sketchbook, the pages rough beneath my fingers. Each stroke of charcoal feels like an act of defiance. I draw my family's faces as I saw them tonight, mother's mask of control cracking, Sophia's perfect composure slipping. The truth bleeds through in every line. My phone lights up with messages. The first is from Grandma Rose. "I'm proud of you, sweetheart. Come see me tomorrow. There's something you need to know." Then Marcus, "Your portfolio is ready. The art community needs to see this. Ready when you are." Even my old art teacher from high school reaches out. "Heard about tonight. About time. Let me know if you need anything." The support flows in, unexpected but overwhelming. All this time, while Mother and Sophia worked to isolate me, others were watching, waiting, ready to help when I finally found my voice. 2 weeks later, I stand in Marcus's gallery, surrounded by my work. The pieces tell my story: dark, twisted family trees, portraits of smiling faces with shadows for eyes, a series of self-portraits showing a figure emerging from beneath suffocating layers of propriety. "You sure about this?" Marcus asks, adjusting the lighting on my centerpiece, a massive canvas depicting a family dinner scene, where the figures at the table cast shadows that reveal their true natures. "I've never been more sure," I reply, straightening the name card beside the piece. Tomorrow night, the gallery opens. Mother and Sophia will receive their invitations in the morning, unable to ignore this public declaration of truth without raising questions. Later that night, as I'm gathering my things to leave, I notice an old jewelry box tucked behind some supply zone of Grandma Rose's antiques she insisted I take. Something about its weight feels off. When I turn it over, I find a hidden compartment, and inside, a yellowed envelope. My hands tremble as I unfold the letter inside. The first line stops my breath. "My dearest Annie, if you're reading this, you finally found your strength. Now it's time you learned about your true inheritance." The words swim before my eyes as I read on, each sentence revealing a carefully hidden truth that could change everything. In my chest, hope blooms like wildfire. Moonlight spills across my studio floor as I unlock the hidden safe behind my easel. My fingers trace the worn edges of Grandma Rose's dossier, years of meticulous evidence gathering condensed into one devastating weapon. Financial records, personal letters, family documents that Isabel thought she'd destroyed. Every scrap of paper is a bullet in the chamber. The oak tablet Parker family heirloom that Grandma Rose specifically left to me groans under the weight of spread papers. My laptop streams the local news in the background, a constant reminder of the world beyond these walls. A world that's about to learn the truth about the perfect Parker family. Marcus's text lights up my phone. Everything's in place for tomorrow. My hands steady as I sort the documents into precise piles. Evidence of financial manipulation here. Proof of emotional abuse there. Each stack represents a different angle of attack, a calculated strike against the fortress Isabel and Sophia built. I pause at a bank statement from 3 years ago. The numbers blur before my eyes as I remember that day standing alone at my first art show, the empty chairs where my family should have been. "Someone needs to watch the little ones," Mom had said. Now I know she'd been transferring funds that day, systematically draining the account Grandma Rose had set up for my education. The anonymous legal inquiries went out this morning. Rebecca Turner called an hour ago to confirm her support. The pieces are falling into place like brushstrokes on canvas, each one essential to the larger picture. Years of suppressed rage have crystallized into something harder, sharper blade forged in silence, ready to cut through their lies. The charity gala at the Grandview Hotel transforms into a battlefield the moment I step through its gilded doors. Isabel commands the stage like a general, her voice dripping with rehearsed sincerity as she speaks about family loyalty. The Parker name stands for tradition, she declares, each word a carefully aimed arrow. For unity and unwavering support. Sophia circulates through the crowd like a snake, poisoning the water. I catch fragments of her whispers. Always been troubled, never quite fit in. Such a shame, really. But she doesn't see what I see: Marcus Lynn's subtle nod from across the room. Rebecca Turner's phone recording every poisonous word. The growing network of allies positioned throughout the ballroom. The massive screen behind Isabel flickers to life, interrupting her speech. My heart pounds as the video begins to play, the one I spent weeks editing. Evidence appears in stark black and white. Bank statements, altered documents, damning letters. But it's the testimonies that silence the room. Former family members speak directly to the camera, their faces etched with years of similar betrayals. The Parkers nearly destroyed me. Cousin Sarah's voice echoes through the stunned ballroom. They took everything, my inheritance, my dignity, my place in the family, all because I dared to question Isabel's authority. Gasps ripple through the crowd. Isabel's perfect mask cracks. She lunges for the podium, but her words die in her throat as more evidence floods the screen. Sophia's frantic attempts to damage control only draw more attention to their unraveling facade. The community's response is immediate and overwhelming. Marcus steps forward, his presence commanding attention. As a longtime observer of this family's dynamics, he begins, his voice carrying across the now silent room. I can verify every detail of what you're seeing. Rebecca Turner materializes at my side, her phone still recording. The art world has watched the systematic suppression of young talent for too long, she announces. Tonight that changes. The next morning, Grandma Rose's carefully laid plans spring into action. Financial advisors release statements confirming the existence of my secret college fund. Legal experts outline the pattern of financial manipulation. The Urban Arts Gallery downtown transforms into a war room, where my artwork hangs alongside documented proof of years of suppression. Marcus orchestrates the exhibition with military precision. Each piece tells part of the story, a painting of a caged bird paired with a bank statement showing diverted funds, a self-portrait alongside a letter revealing Isabel's orchestrated campaigns to undermine my achievements. The truth bleeds across canvas and paper, impossible to ignore. At the panel discussion, Rebecca leads the charge. Former family employees step forward, their stories collaborating my own. The perfect Parker family portrait shatters under the weight of accumulated evidence. Each revelation drives another nail into the coffin of Isabel's control. As evening settles over the gallery, I find myself drawn to a vintage desk in the corner, another piece of Parker family history, donated years ago. My fingers trace its worn surface, finding a hidden catch in the drawer. It clicks open, revealing a sealed envelope, the paper yellowed with age. The elegant script inside makes my blood run cold. This letter doesn't just confirm what we already knew, it reveals a whole new layer of deception. The college fund wasn't just a secret account. It was part of a larger trust, established with specific conditions. Conditions that, if breached, transfer all control away from Isabel and Sophia. My hands tremble as I read further, uncovering names I never expected to see. The web of lies stretches far beyond my mother and sister, implicating others in ways I never imagined. The truth I thought I knew was just the surface of a much darker reality. The letter burns in my hands like a lit fuse. In the quiet gallery, surrounded by the evidence of my victory, I realize this is far from over. The question isn't whether I've won, it's what happens when the full extent of the Parker family's deceit finally comes to light, and whether any of us will survive the explosion. Mother's voice cuts through the grand ballroom like a blade. If you continue this rebellious behavior, Annie, you leave me no choice. She stands at the head of the mahogany table, her perfectly manicured hands gripping a stack of papers. The entire family network call financial and emotional support will be severed. My heart pounds against my ribs, but I keep my expression neutral. The gathered relatives shift uncomfortably in their chairs, crystal glasses clinking as hands nervously reach for water. Aunt Margaret won't meet my eyes. Uncle James suddenly finds his napkin fascinating. Sophia rises from her chair, the silk of her designer dress rustling. Annie, dear, she says, her voice dripping with false concern. You've always struggled with stability. Remember the dance recital disaster? The failed art show? She circles the table like a shark, each word calculated to draw blood. Our family has traditions, expectations. You've never quite managed to meet them, have you? The old Annie would have shrunk under their words, would have apologized for existing. But I'm not that girl anymore. I catch Grandma Rose's eye across the table. She gives me the slightest nod, and I feel Marcus and Rebecca's steady presence behind my chair. Months of preparation have led to this moment. Speaking of family traditions, I say, my voice steady as I stand, let's talk about a few I've recently uncovered. I pull out my phone and tap the screen. The grand ballroom's projector hums to life, and suddenly the wall behind Mother fills with image-scanned documents. Hidden letters, bank statements, Mother's face drains of color. What is the meaning of the secret college fund Dad left for me before he died? I say, advancing to the next slide. The one you and Sophia diverted into your personal accounts. The art school scholarships you intercepted and declined on my behalf. The trust fund that mysteriously vanished. Gasps ripple through the room. Sophia's perfectly composed mask slips for just a moment, revealing raw panic underneath. But that's not all. I gesture to Rebecca, who wheels in a covered easel. I've been working on a special exhibition. Would you like to see? Mother steps forward, legal documents forgotten in her trembling hands. Annie, stop this nonsense immediately. I pull the cloth away. The portrait silences the room. Mother stands central in the painting, her face a beautiful mask, while shadowy hands extend from her figure, strangling the life from a younger version of me. The technique is flawless, the emotion raw and undeniable. Beside it, I place another piece, the hidden photo albums I discovered that day in the storage room, meticulously documented and annotated with dates and deliberate omissions. This exhibition opens next week at the Urban Arts Gallery, I announced to the stunned room. Along with these, I motion to Marcus, who begins distributing portfolios to key family members. Inside each one, years of documented manipulation, financial fraud, and emotional abuse, all carefully preserved and organized. You ungrateful, Sophia starts, but her words die as journalists begin filing into the ballroom. I recognize faces from the local papers, arts magazines, even a national network crew. I believe you all received invitations to this private preview, I say to the reporters. My family has quite a story to tell. The cameras start rolling as Mother's carefully crafted world crumbles. Relatives who've stayed silent for years suddenly find their voices, stepping forward with their own stories. Marcus presents emails and recorded conversations that make Sophia physically stagger backward. The evidence is irrefutable, the momentum unstoppable. Through it all, I stand my ground, my artist hand steady, my vision clear. Every click of a camera, every scribble of a reporter's pen, every shocked whisper dismantles the prison they built around me. Ladies and gentlemen, I say, facing the growing crowd, let me tell you about the real Parker family tradition of systematic erasure and control. But today, that tradition ends. Mother lunges for the projector cord, but it's too late. Social media is already exploding with images and hashtags. The carefully curated Parker family facade shatters like fine china dropped on marble floors. I meet Sophia's eyes across the chaos. For the first time in my life, I see fear in them, fear of me, of the truth I've unleashed, of the power that was always mine to claim. Behind me, the portrait looms like an avenging angel. I am no longer the invisible daughter, the convenient babysitter, the forgotten artist. I am Annie Parker, and I've just painted my masterpiece in strokes of justice and truth. They wanted me invisible. Instead, I've made myself unforgettable. The following days blur into a whirlwind of legal proceedings and press coverage. Our family's name dominates local headlines, and former employees step forward with their own stories of manipulation. Mother's carefully crafted reputation crumbles as Marcus presents email after damning email to the ethics board. I sit in the packed courtroom, my back straight as the family lawyer presents our evidence. The judge's expression darkens with each new revelation, the doctored financial records, the intercepted opportunities, the systematic gaslighting documented in years of private correspondence. Mother and Sophia huddle with their attorneys, their designer outfits, and perfect makeup, unable to mask their desperation. Each piece of evidence strips away another layer of their control until nothing remains but the ugly truth. In light of the evidence presented, the judge's voice fills the hushed courtroom. Control of the college fund and associated family assets will be immediately transferred to the designated trustees. She fixes Mother with a steel gaze. Furthermore, this court strongly recommends a criminal investigation into the financial irregularities uncovered during these proceedings. The gavel strikes like thunder, sealing my victory, but my hands tremble as I pack up my files in the now empty courtroom. Something feels unfinished. Later that evening, I sit alone in my new office at the Urban Arts Gallery, surrounded by the artwork that helped set me free. The final court documents wait for my signature, but something catches my eye, a sealed envelope tucked between the pages, marked with an unfamiliar insignia. My fingers trace the strange symbol as a chill runs down my spine. Inside, a single note reads, "The Parkers aren't the only family with secrets to hide. Choose carefully, Annie." I stare at the cryptic message as shadows lengthen across my desk. Perhaps this victory isn't really the end. Perhaps it's just the beginning. Sunlight streams through the tall windows of the San Francisco Institute of Fine Arts, casting long shadows across my new workspace. My fingers tremble slightly as I unpack my supplies. Brushes still pristine, tubes of paint waiting to release their vibrant secrets. Around me, the buzz of creative energy fills the studio as other students settle into their spaces. Their conversations, a melody of artistic dreams and determined spirits. Welcome home, I whisper to myself, running my hand along the smooth wooden easel. The words feel right in my mouth, solid and true. Unlike the hollow praise and false warmth of the Parker household, this space radiates authenticity. My canvases lean against the wall, blank but brimming with possibility. Each one represents a story waiting to be told, a truth demanding to be shared. The paint-splattered floor beneath my feet bears the marks of countless artists who came before me. Their legacy of creative courage seeps up through my worn boots, strengthening my resolve. This is where I belong, not shrinking in the shadows of Sophia's achievements or Elena's performances, but standing tall in my own light. I take a deep breath and begin setting up my first piece. The empty canvas towers before me, but I'm no longer intimidated by blank spaces. I've lived in them too long, carved out my existence in the margins of other people's stories. Now it's time to fill them with my own bold strokes, my own vivid colors. Later that afternoon, I find myself back in that familiar storage room. But this time, I'm not searching for Christmas decorations or hidden family secrets. I'm here with purpose, canvas in hand. The space feels different now, less suffocating, more like a cocoon I've finally broken free from. My latest piece, Reclaimed Identity, finds its home on the wall where Mom once hung Sophia's valedictorian photos. The self-portrait stares back at me with unflinching honesty. Broad brushstrokes and deep crimsons and burning golds capture a woman emerging from darkness into light. No more muted tones, no more careful curves designed to take up less space. This painting screams with the voice I was never allowed to use. The sun sets over San Francisco as I make my way to the Institute's rooftop terrace. The city sprawls below, a tapestry of lights and possibilities. My leather-bound journal rests heavy in my lap as I begin to write, each word a testament to the journey that brought me here. The first time I realized I was invisible, I thought it was my fault. I write, the pen scratching against paper. I tried to fold myself smaller, speak softer, need less. But invisibility isn't a natural state. It's something that was done to me, one careful erasure at a time. The words flow faster now, years of silent pain finding their voice. I document every dismissal, every, not now, Annie, every time my achievements were swept aside to make room for my sister's spotlight. But this isn't just a catalog of hurts. It's a map of survival, a blueprint of how I built myself back up from the ground they scorched. Grandma Rose's cafe gathering feels worlds away from the sterile perfection of Parker family events. Afternoon light filters through Victorian windows, casting warm patterns across the faces of my chosen family. Marcus, my mentor from the gallery, raises his coffee cup in a toast while Rebecca, who gave me my first show, beams from across the table. To Annie, Grandma Rose announces, her voice strong and clear, who taught us all that the most beautiful art comes from breaking free. The words wrap around me like an embrace, genuine and warm. These people, the passionate painters, dedicated sculptors, and fierce advocates who've become my tribe, they see me, really see me. Not as the convenient babysitter or the reliable helper, but as an artist, a fighter, a whole person worthy of celebration. Looking around the table at their smiling faces, I realize something profound. True family isn't about sharing blood or a last name. It's about sharing understanding, support, and the courage to be authentically yourself. The late afternoon sun bathes my downtown studio in golden light as I work with Sarah, my newest student. Her hands shake slightly as she holds the brush, just like mine used to. I recognize the fear in her eyes, the same fear I carried for so long. Your family doesn't understand why you paint, I say softly, watching her add hesitant strokes to her canvas. It's not a question. I've learned to recognize the signs. The way she apologizes for taking up space. How she tries to make herself smaller. They say it's a waste of time, she whispers, brush pausing mid-stroke, that I should focus on something practical, something. Something that makes you disappear? I finish, and her eyes meet mine, wide with recognition. I guide her hand back to the canvas, helping her press down with more confidence. Paint louder, I tell her. Make them hear your colors. As the sun sets behind the city skyline, Sarah's painting begins to take shape, a riot of bold colors breaking free from careful constraints. In her determined expression, I see my own journey reflected. The cycle of silence ends here, one brave brushstroke at a time.